Siri. I'm looking for a new podcast, one that preferably is hosted by a UF Hall of Famer, one that airs every weekday that would bring me everything I need to know about the Florida Gators, including news, analysis, and opinions. Siri, is there such a show?
Have you heard of PodUp with Matthews in the morning on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, or any podcast platform?
Oh my gosh, why didn't I think of that? UF Hall of Famer Shane Matthews has a show every weekday. I'm gonna go check it out tomorrow. Thanks, Siri.
Good morning. It's a live edition of PodUp with Matthews in the morning from the Crime Prevention Security System Studios. Large enough to serve you, small enough to care. Dun, 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 dun. Hey, JC. Hey, JC. We beat the hell out of you.
We just beat.
I know. I have to have the music behind me, but take that, rammer jammer. Ass whipping, JC. Ass whipping.
Oh, Lord, good God.
Why you don't have your Alabama hat on today?
What? I don't know. Well, this was important for the Gators because they had a lead at halftime, and they were able to hold on and not lose a double-digit lead, and that was what plagued them in February. And this was a great way to finish the regular season. Certainly at home, the atmosphere was, incredible. Senior night, great night for Samuel and Pullen.
It was more like grad transfer night, is what it was.
Yeah, grad transfer night. That's a better way of putting it. Absolutely. And listen, Florida is just about untouchable at home, right? I mean, I think 14-1, only loss coming to Kentucky this year. Should have won that game. So Florida has been unbeatable, but that's the last time they're going to play there. So they got to take that show on the road, and they're going to probably have a lot of opportunities to, play in games like this going forward. So Samuel was great. Pullen was great. Richard and Clayton, 23 and 22 points respectively. You can't beat the Gators when the guards lighted up for 45 combined points. It's hard to beat that team when those guards play like that. And so I don't know, something like 45 free throws, some crazy number. They made them all. Basically, this was the best game for a Gator fan to watch as it wrapped up the regular season at home. We've got one more thing to do at Vanderbilt, and then it's time for the tournament, looking to be one of the 4 teams with a double bye potentially. I don't know if that's really all that important. I think it probably is, though.
I don't think we'll have an opportunity to be one of the top 4 teams.
Well, why aren't they? Why aren't they?
Well, we'd have to win. I think everybody has to lose. I don't know. Chris talked about it yesterday. It'd be very difficult.
Okay. Well, that might be, but I will say this. When those guards play like that last night, and Samuel is as dominant as he was, that team is.
The team can go to the Final Four. I'm telling you right now. It's not crazy to think that. But they were so much better on the front court, but the back court was obvious, of course. Alabama has one guy that can score it. Well, that's not true. I mean, he's a very good player. They have good players. They just didn't make shots, JC. You got to make shots.
That's true, but I think he's been the most consistent player. Sears, they lost Quinterly during the offseason, so you lose half of your guard tandem.
They didn't lose him; he left.
Well, okay, what? Okay,
he transferred.
Fine. They lost him. He does not on the roster, and it does matter. It hurts the backcourt team. So Florida is.
Well, maybe
better.
They told him to leave.
Florida is better in the backcourt when those kids score like that.
Well, they got 2 of the best guards in America, and then, as Richard says here, what I've said from about week 1, the key to this team is if Will Richard makes shots, look out, because he's the best pure shooter we have.
I think so.
And he made shots last night. So
it was good. Yeah. Like I said, this couldn't have gone better for the Gators. It was exactly what they needed. 105 points. I mean, what else do you want? You got to take the show on the road now, but I just think
they played very well on the road, quite honestly.
Yeah, I just think, no.
Nobody has blown them out on the road.
Nobody's blown them out on the road. I just think it's important for them to hold a halftime lead. In many cases, they lost double-digit leads after the half, and in this case, they did not, and they kept the pedal to the metal, and they can build on that because that can work on you mentally, and I don't think that was ever in doubt last night. It was never in doubt.
No, not at all. Chris from Mayak on the Titan MR text line. If you ever want to shoot us a text on the Titan MR text line, if you don't watch, you can send it to us at 352-353-7465. He placed a $50 bet last night at Hard Rock, plus 1,600 for the Gators to make the Final Four. It'll pay 800 if that happens.
Yeah.
They got a chance. I mean, they match up as good as anybody.
Everybody on ESPN Bet Live, which is a show that runs, I think, at 6 o'clock or at 5 o'clock, every one of them had Florida beating Alabama easily. I didn't understand that line being as low as it was. And a couple of them
because a ranked team played against an unranked team at home.
I don't think any of
I
that
had no doubt that Florida would not win that game last night.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Nobody had any doubt. That's what I'm saying. My God, it was the easiest pick on the board. Let's just say Vegas missed that one. Florida dominated the game. I mean, and they could have easily.
No, I guarantee you,
Tuscaloosa.
90% of the people across the country,
when
they saw Alabama and underdog, they bet Alabama because they don't know. They don't follow. The people out on the West Coast have no idea.
That line went up. It didn't go down. It went up at before the tip-off. I think folks just realized that Florida's not a team you beat in Gainesville. That they're just they have that home. They're like Creighton. You can't beat them on their home court. QB. Ask UConn. But no, really, I listen. I mean, what do you want? What do you want to say? They dominated the game. They won.
Frank on the Titan Mark text line says Alabama doesn't play any defense, and they couldn't score. So this is the result you get. Yeah, I saw on my Twitter feed somehow. I guess I follow a couple Alabama sports writers, but boy, the Alabama fans. This is the worst team I've seen since Wimp Sanders. Since Anthony Grant coached. They give no effort. Blah blah blah. They're a good basketball team. They just got their ass handed to them on the road last night. It's that simple. So, anyway, Gator baseball plays tonight against the Golden Knights of UCF here at the ballpark. And women's basketball cranks up the women's SEC tournament today. I think around 1 o'clock. They play Missouri. A week from today, the SEC tournament starts, believe it or not.
Yes.
Tom on Facebook Live, brought to you by Mel Law, says Nate Oates needs to be fired immediately. Tom's an Alabama guy too.
Nate got teed up last night. Tom doesn't take it very well. I can promise you, if you're an Alabama basketball fan, in 2 weeks you won't even think about tonight's game. And they may not even be playing in 2 weeks. Who knows? Or they may. They may play and they may keep playing. You never know. But I got a hat last night. Check it out. This is the U.S. Marine Corps Aviation hat. And this is from our great listener in Pensacola, Paul. I met he and his wife, Mary Beth, last night before the game. We went out and had a few beers at here in town, and he had driven over from Pensacola. Loves the Gators. He's on the road back now to Pensacola. Came all the way to watch this game tonight. Had seats 4 rows above the floor in the on the baseline under the basket. Had a great time. The environment was exactly what he had hoped for. He bought the tickets basically online. And, he listens and watches our show religiously, QB. And that's where he and I were last night before the game. So, Paul, it was great meeting you last night. And your wife, of course, drive safely back home. And he is a former University of Florida graduate. Well, he is a current University of Florida graduate. And he is a former law student there and is a criminal defense attorney, retired out of Pensacola. So Florida has a lot of folks watching us today. Well, not Florida, but we have a lot of folks watching us from the Panhandle, QB. I don't know if you're aware, this Panhandle is big.
They say we have people over in these crazy-ass countries listening to us, believe it or not.
I know. But
you're very entertaining. You're famous, JC.
Well, I don't want to go all that. I don't want to say all that, QB.
You're very famous.
Your name's on the sign, QB.
Yeah. All right. So we got a text on the Titan. Actually, no, this isn't a text. This was sent to me from our producer. The Gators won last night, and so did one of our sponsors, Meldon Law, and the Alzheimer's Association. Meldon Law donated $19.71 for every free throw made, and Alzheimer's made $788 last night.
Yeah, and 46 free throws, 48 something.
They made 40 free throws. 40 free throws.
40.
Quit fouling, JC. Y'all foul a lot.
We're hackers. We're a bunch of hackers out there.
Yeah, I was like watching a team play in the YMCA league over at the rec center. No defense.
You love it up, QB, because in 2 weeks nobody's going to give a damn about this game because it's going to matter.
I'm on record, JC, that I think this team can go to the Final Four. I said it months ago. They have everything you're looking for in a basketball team.
Okay, so since we're talking about Final Fours now, give me their seed. You think, depending on, let's say,
I think they're going to be a 6 seed.
Okay, yeah. I think you want to stay out of that 8-9 spot, and
they won't be 8-9. There's no way. They're going to be a 6 seed at worst.
Okay. Well,
I don't know. I have not looked at Joe Lunardi or any of those people's brackets, but that's what I'm telling you. That I think they'll be a 6 seed.
Okay. Well, I think that's important. Yeah, you don't want to be a 7 to 10, 8 or 9. I don't think. But listen,
River State Farm Office is a team of dedicated insurance professionals ready to help life go right with the right insurance options for you and your family. Visit ogreinsurance.com. Give them a call at 352-240-1770. Now, I got JC on the Titan More Hotline, courtesy of Duffield Home Improvements. Gator football kicks off tomorrow. They will put their helmets on and run out of the indoor facility to the grass practice fields tomorrow. Alabama has already started. JC, what's going on with Alabama football? Have they given up already?
They have a new coach.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, they have a new coach, and I'll bet you they have the same quarterback.
You know what's interesting about that? Like I told you, I must follow, or these people follow me. I don't know how Twitter works.
Yeah,
but I saw quotes from Kalen DeBoer. And he had to say even that Jalen Milroe took the reps with the ones. Who's the kid that they brought in? You don't even know, do you? The transfer from Washington.
Yeah.
Quarterback. I'm telling you, it will not surprise me if he doesn't get some playing time this year.
Yeah, I wouldn't surprise me either, but I think it's Milroe's team. And I also think, Ty Simpson, I don't know what the plans are with him.
I don't think he's in the mix. It's whoever that kid is they brought that's bigger than Milroe.
But Brent Beard will tell you names, but does it really matter? I mean, I could throw a name out there. I don't think it matters. It's Milroe's team. Maybe the other kid will play a little bit, but they've got to get ready for somebody, to follow Milroe, just like Florida has to, get Lagway. I think it's important that Lagway sees some time this year, even though Mertz's team, it's going to be his game, his team. Maybe there's a couple of chances that you see Lagway on the field. I mean, that's your future, right? Isn't it? So I don't think it's any different with Alabama.
All right, Asa asked here, and we addressed this yesterday. QB, what's the word on the Steve Spurrier Times Union interview? It was taken out of context, and I'm going to do it real quick. Coach talked about all the hiring of all the analysts. I think it's like 50 or 60 of them. He doesn't understand it. Doesn't understand why we need them. I'm in the same boat, but this is what coaches do. Alabama has 50 to 60 of them. Georgia does. It's not how Coach coached. He wasn't a guy that slept in the office. Like, if Nick Saban slept in the office, everybody else in the SEC says, y'all got to sleep in the office because if they're going to go home, we can't go home. So he was not taking shots at Billy Napier. He was just questioning because that's not what he does. That's not how he would do it. So, it's all about clickbait anyway. Andy says, Andy's my researcher. He says Austin Mack is the QB that transferred to Bama. He's right. He's big as Cam Newton.
Big tall kid. You're right. That's right. Have big wingspan. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see him play a little bit. Danny wants to know if I'm an Alabama booster. I do send money to Alabama, Danny. I wouldn't say I send them money that gets me in the Champions Club, however, on Saturday. Not that kind of money. But yes, I do send money back to the old Capstone.
Robert on YouTube asked, brought to you by Quality Plum. Baseball is postponed. When are they going to make up that game versus FAU? I think it's at the end of April.
Okay.
FAU did not want to drive all the way up here in a bus and get the game canceled. So,
speaking of buses, I saw a bunch of vans at the old Hawkstone Golf Club. They had the first ever golf tournament for college that did not involve the hosting at the University of Florida here. And we had 10 small colleges here in town. playing on this golf course, and Georgetown was the winner of the Lady Bison Invitational. QB, did you know that the Lady Bison Invitational was going on? So I
did know that because we've talked about it on this program.
I got to watch it.
Makes no sense, but
I got to watch a lot of girls play golf from as far away as Youngstown State to St. Francis College, Merrimack, Creighton was here, Georgetown was here, Howard University was here, and Georgetown won, as well as their golfer won individually. And it was really cool seeing college golfers out here hitting golf balls. I have to say, that was kind of fun to watch for somebody that just walked out and watched it. The girls love my dog. Everybody loved my dog. I show up there with the dog on the leash. And so they all left in their little vans yesterday. And I just thought to myself, man, these athletes travel, and they are on the road last night. Omaha, University of Nebraska, Omaha was here. And I'm thinking, man, these girls all get in these vans. They pack them in, and they get on the road and go. And I don't think any of them flew. And Queens College from Charlotte was here. Bethune-Cookman was here. North
JC,
Carolina
let me give you a little tip here. Have you ever seen that when you go? You don't play there often. When you pull into the parking lot at the Bostic Golf Course,
yes,
there's two Mercedes vans that have Gators golf on them.
Yeah,
okay? Our guys and girls hop in those damn vans and travel just like Bethune-Cookman.
Yeah, but I can promise you, Bethune-Cookman was in a Ford. They were not in a Mercedes van. Okay, they didn't have the. I'm sure that when these girls got in there, they didn't have somewhere to plug in their phones to occupy their 7.5-hour drives. That is,
but JC,
that is just amazing.
Just think, you want to buy a damn minivan and travel and play golf.
I saw a lot of those too yesterday. Maybe some people did fly in. I don't know, but the parking lot was packed with all these schools, and it was I really liked it. I mean, I love the team environment. I love it. I was thinking when I was in college, I never played on a team. You got to do that. I didn't. I was on an intramural team, of course, dormitory and all that. But it's really good for these kids to be, these are not revenue creators, these sports that they have that they play in QB. These are all supported by other outside entities. They cannot support themselves, and yet they get to do it.
That's why you need to be a Gator golf booster, JC, like me.
I mean, it's whatever it takes to allow these boys and girls to play and do this and do something healthy and travel. It enables them to grow. And if you care about that, it should be something you think about when you are doing discretionary giving to athletic programs. Support a college or a small college that sends kids out to compete in any type of venue. Golf. Are
you going to start supporting a small college?
I might. I really took a liking to that Youngstown State, the Lady Penguins.
Oh, you want a penguin hat's what you want.
Well, I love that Y. I mean, the Y is so great. It's like kind of like this. It is just awesome. And then the Omaha, Nebraska. I don't know if you've seen that logo, QB. It's got the O and then a red N inside of the O. Nebraska, Omaha. Unbelievable creativity. I just really liked it. And I will say that I kind of got into it. It didn't matter that these were schools that I had no connection to whatsoever. I just liked watching Georgetown and Creighton. These are great basketball programs. They compete like hell, and they're walking out here on the golf course, these girls, and they're also friendly. They always say hello. I had some girls from Bethune-Cookman come and play with the dog as they were leaving 3 to go to 4. Oh, my God. These kids are great, man. Who wouldn't want to help them out? And so it is important that these entities get support because, again, they are non-revenue creators. And so,
All right. So having said that, JC, we expect you to be a
booster,
golf booster. All right. Jerry in Washington. I don't know if that's Washington, D.C. or the state of Washington. He's listening to us in the state of Washington. He's an early riser.
That's hard to believe right there.
On the Titan, it must be D.C. On the Titan MR text line. He says, Shane, what makes you think this team can make the Final Four?
Okay. Well, we talked about this.
Well, guard play key. We have 2 tremendous guards in Clayton Jr. and Pullen. Outstanding. I mean, they're as good as you're going to find.
And Will Richard.
And Will Richard, when he knocks down his shots, look out. But we rotate 4 bigs that are all extremely athletic and score the basketball. They get after you. That's the makeup. Now, physicality, can they match up with the physicality of a UConn? I don't know, but I don't care. If they get there, we can worry about it then.
Well, that's right. And I think that the depth is there for these guys, pulling. But I mean, how about your boy Kugel? I mean, there's depth on this team that I think will allow them to.
I just get nervous anytime Riley Kugel's in the game.
Yeah, I know you've been saying.
And they take him out of the game a lot because he turns it over, nonchalant. And like I said, this is nothing against him, but Denzel, I keep wanting to call him Denzel Valentine, who played for Michigan State. What was Denzel's last name? I failed to remember it. But anyway, he played well last night. We have a text or a question on YouTube brought to you by Quality Plumbing. Robert says, JC drives a minivan. QB, what do you drive? I drive a Tahoe. JC does not drive a minivan. He's wanting to buy a minivan.
I rented a minivan to take a trip to Biloxi, and I fell in love with it. And I will be getting – it's either going to be a Honda Odyssey or a Chrysler Pacifica. We have considered the Nissan, but we're going to go with one of those two, QB. That's going to happen.
What color are you going to get, JC?
I think,
Crimson?
You want to go with
Denzel Aberdeen. I'm going to remember that.
Aberdeen.
Yeah. There's an Aberdeen, Mississippi. I will never forget it again.
There you go. He's aggressive. That kid goes.
He's a good player.
He goes to the basket. I recognized him at the very beginning of the season. Had no idea who he was, but he went to the hoop, man. He goes to the basket. A lot of guards like to hang around and shoot from outside. I like guards that drive, QB. That make any
Live
sense?
a healthier lifestyle with our bold, flavorful smoothies and our amazing food. Tropical smoothie. When you eat better, you feel better. We got JC on here. We're just shooting the breeze today. Great win for the Gators last night. Just buried the Alabama Crimson Tide in the O'Connell Center. And they will travel Saturday.
Yeah,
JC, if the Gators were Omaha, Nebraska, do you think they would go up to Nashville, play Vandy, and then go to the Motel 6 and stay in, since they're going to be there in a few more days to play in Nashville for the SEC tournament, or do you think they're going to fly back?
It would make sense. I think maybe.
If I was on the team, I would negotiate. Let's stay for the whole week.
Yeah, sure. Why not? You just don't want to fry yourself out before the real tournament, QB, and that's the big issue. What do you think of these conference tournaments? They're really good for schools that are on the bubble.
I love them.
You do? Yeah. Well, I think as a fan, you love them. As a coach, would you love them?
Why wouldn't you if you're a coach? That's your opportunity to get into the NCAA tournament.
Well, some teams are already booked. But let's say you play in 3 straight nights, all right?
You're talking about the big teams. I'm talking about these little mid-major schools.
I know those schools have to have it, but some, because it's an automatic bid. But for the Big Ten Conference, for the ACC, for the SEC, I was reading where some coaches are like, "My God, do we have to go through this?" Because the real tournament is 4 days later.
No, that's true, and it's important for some teams. If they make a little run, they can get into the big dance. But in Florida's case, it's an opportunity. If let's just say Florida goes in as not one of the top 4 seeds, so we're playing on the second day, but we win the tournament. Do you go from a 6 to a 5?
Yeah, possibly. Possibly.
Yeah. So
possibly.
But they're competitors, and you want to hang a banner as SEC champs. It looks like Tennessee, if they win tonight, will be your regular season SEC champs. So
I got another Pensacola fan listening, Stephen Turner on YouTube from Pensacola. My God, we are taking over Escambia County. There should be a billboard as you go across the bay. As you go across the bay on
there may be a Florida Victorious billboard there now.
Well, there should be a QB and JC billboard up there as you go across we're taking over the mornings in Pensacola. It's 300 miles away, QB. Think about
it. John on YouTube, brought to you by Quality Plumbing, says JC can't afford an expensive car because his money goes into his hat rack.
By the way, the Florida Panthers are the best team in hockey right now.
Are they?
They are today the best team in hockey. 16 out of 18 they've won. They were in the Stanley Cup Finals last year. Got waxed by the Vegas Golden Knights. That ain't happening this year. I'm jumping on the bandwagon because I was a Lightning fan. They've kind of come down. It's the Florida Panthers this year. That they are. Oh gosh, they're good. So Gator Josh says, QB Josh from Mississippi, since the spring game has moved back to Saturday, all the hotel prices have gone up. I mean, QB, could you imagine traveling to Gainesville, spending, I don't know, $500, $400 for the spring game?
Not for a spring game. Because it's really not a game. It's a glorified practice.
This is just different from me.
Clint on YouTube, brought to you by Quad Phones, says, Shane, I was watching Ray Lewis highlights the other day, and number 27 was Ray interception on you. I didn't even know I threw an interception to Ray Lewis. Did he ever hit you? Who was the hardest hitting player you were ever hit by? I'd have to think about that. I did not know I threw an interception to Ray Lewis.
I did not remember that.
Well, I think I only played and started against Ray. It was their ring ceremony on opening day, the year after they won the Super Bowl in Baltimore. Maybe I threw an interception that game. They beat the hell out of us, I'm sure.
Yeah, well, they beat the hell out of a lot of people, QB. By the way, Josh wants to know if he can stay on my couch because of these hotel prices. Josh, there's 4 bedrooms up. You can go pick one up there or pick one over on the side.
There we go. Open invitations.
Don't stay.
House with JC right here.
You just can't stay in Sam's visiting room when he comes. But there's so much room. And you have your own bathroom. I'll make sure she puts soap and toilet paper and towels in there for you.
All right, we got a text here on the Titan Lamar text line. Great win by the Gators last night. Shane, I believe you have mentioned this before, but Will Richard is the X factor. Agree.
Oh,
he's streaky. And if he's on, the Gators are tough to beat.
Where did he come from?
Clayton and Samuel are reliable scorers each night. Go Gators.
Tell me where Will Richard came from again.
Will Richard transferred 2 years ago. This is his second or third. He came from Belmont.
Belmont, no kidding. All right. And
so think about this, JC. Here's our starting lineup. Transfer from Belmont. Transfer from California. I always want to say Cal Riverside. I don't know if that's where Pullen's from. One of those like Riverside, Northridge. One of those. I think it's Riverside. Clayton Jr. from Iona.
Okay.
Right.
What about
and Lockton is from Marshall.
Samuel.
And Tyrese Samuel's from Seton Hall.
Seton Hall, that's where it was. I knew it was up north. Yes. Okay, Seton Hall. Got it. Well, that team, listen, give the coach some real credit for finding guys that he could use and bring in here. It's almost like you're renting players, it feels like, for a year or two.
It's everywhere. Every team is like that.
I know that's what the sport seems to be now, isn't it?
It's crazy. People get upset with it about football, but basketball is like acceptable. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, you only have 13 guys, right? You don't have 85. But listen, if you can find 5 guys, maybe 10 guys who all work together really well on the court, you've got a chance. Auburn won last night on the road. That usually doesn't happen, but they beat poor Missouri. Missouri's going to go the entire season without a win. I don't remember the last time we had a team in this conference go the entire season without winning a game. It's kind of sad. I feel bad for them because they had some injuries. Robert wants to know how many hats I have. It's over 100.
JC, I think you should take a picture of like one big picture of them. Real quick, Christopher's asked this question a couple of times, and I haven't gotten to it. I apologize. Brought to you by Quality Plumbing. Shane, have you ever played golf with your old teammate Monty Duncan? I believe he is a general manager of a golf course in Jacksonville. I know at one time he was over in the St. Augustine area. I've never played with him. I'm very picky when it comes to playing golf because if I'm gonna play for 3 or 4 hours, it's got to be competitive golf.
Yeah, it's awful. Justin Thomas said it best. He said, I can't just walk out and swing and play golf. I have to have something riding on it. It has to matter. It has to be some sort of competitive nature. A lot of folks just think of it as a leisure activity. To me, it would be akin to me going to the Gainesville Health and Fitness Center and standing there watching some guy do bench presses. It just bores the hell out of me. I don't care. I don't want to do it. It's kind of like also golf stories, QB. When you hear somebody talking about what they did in a non-competitive setting, it's almost like somebody telling me, well, I bench pressed 245 20 times. It doesn't matter. Nobody cares about that. What matters is how you compete and what kind of result you get and what you're going to do if it's not the one you want. I have rebounded quite nicely over the weekend, playing other golf courses, and traveling from playing at this course to these other golf courses is hard to do because there's a lot of shots on this course that I play on that you don't have to take or make on these other courses. But having played those other courses, it makes me better because I'm hitting 3 hybrids and 5 irons now, and it makes me feel like I've got more confidence with those clubs, and that helps. So it's important that you play, even if you're a member of a club, that you get out once in a while and play some of these other courses. That's what I'm learning.
Yeah, you need to get away, JC. So Tony, who also does research for us, sent me this on the Titan MRT about I did throw an interception to Ray Lewis. It was tipped by Jamie Sharper. But listen to these stats, JC, against the world champions on opening day. I went 24-39 for 138 yards, 2 interceptions. Oh my God, were we bad? But it was the defending champs. I don't think Elvis Gerbach he did much better.
No.
But yeah, that defense was ridiculous. My quote here in the box score says, "We shot ourselves in the foot. They're a tremendous football team. We had our chances. We just didn't put it in the end zone we should have." That's coach speak. I was terrible in that game, by the way. All right. So
it happens.
JC, you've opened a can of worms here, my friend. J&J Trucking.
Oh, God, there he is.
He has 3 kids coming to stay with you.
I do love J&J Trucking, LLC. That guy is funny as hell. I wish I knew what his name was. But he's got
probably
3 kids coming down. They want to hang out, go swimming and all that. Oh, boy, what have I done? Well, listen. I
got to get to this day in sports, JC.
Oh, okay.
It's brought to you by Campus USA.
Picks?
We're doing them in just a second, right after this. Campus USA, brought to you by Campus USA Credit. You screwed me up here. Put some star power to work in your financial life with Campus USA Credit Union. JC, listen to this. I got 2 for today.
All right.
Where'd it go? In 1923, the St. Louis Cardinal baseball team, they announced that they're going to put numbers on the back of their jerseys.
Oh,
I guess they were the first team to do that. And then
on this day,
in 1964, on this day, boxing legend Cassius Clay, you know who that is, JC?
I do.
He joined the Nation of Islam and changed his name to Muhammad Ali, calling his formal name a slave name.
Oh, boy. Well, hey, listen, there was one of the most famous basketball players in history also changed his name to a Muslim name. QB, somebody said to us on Monday that we don't make good golf picks. I will have you know that you took Min-Woo Lee, and I took
Cameron third, right?
And I took Cameron Young last week down in Fort Lauderdale, and both those guys were in the top 5, I want to say. So I think we do amazing things with our golf picks.
We do. And right before we get to that, let me respond to Adam's question here on Facebook Live. Brought to you. No, this is on YouTube.
Yeah.
Brought to you by Quality Plumbing. Shane, what's your expectation next year with the difficulty of the Gator football schedule in relation to wins and losses? I hadn't really thought about it, but like I said, embrace it. It's difficult. I think the first 5 games we should win. After that, you don't know what's going to happen. But we'll talk more about that all summer long. But hey, everybody for many years, including JC, have bitched about the schedule. There's no bitching this year other than if you want to complain about
the only time I bitch about is when we got somebody I've never heard of rolling.
That's my point. There is none of that. There aren't anybody on there.
Well,
everybody on there you've heard of.
Well, I know, but you gave me a lot of pushback on that. But I will say that.
My argument to that is because the boys that come here from
never get a chance to play in the
Charleston Southern always wanted to play in the SEC. This is their opportunity to experience that, and and then from the big school, Power 5 school, it's the Florida Gators, the Alabama team, the Tennessee team. It's a chance for you to get your young kids, your walk-ons, playing time. And we have you have buddies of mine that were walk-ons. Yeah. They cherish those moments.
No question.
Think about last night. 3 walk-ons got to walk on the court. I would have, if I was coaching, I would have put them on with about 2 minutes left and told them, if you're open, shoot the basketball. I've never understood that in all my years. Even when Billy Donovan's kid was here, they just sit there and dribble it out.
Because they put them in too late. they put them in too late. Yeah, let them go out there and actually play.
It's time for a Peachland Dental. Gator Nation's number one choice for dentistry in Port Charlotte surrounding areas.
Oh,
JC and the QBs golf picks were at Bay Hill.
I'm also going to say that, well, I lost my train of thought there. Okay. Well, what I was going to say was, as we get into this Bay Hill and then the TPC next week, there was argument about Paul Azinger, who's got sour grapes about being fired at NBC, or not being renewed, I should say. The best players are not on the LIV Tour. They are on the PGA Tour. I want to hear this about the LIV Tour having the best, but he's wrong. He's just simply wrong. We've got more majors on the PGA Tour. We got better players. And with that, I will begin the picking with Victor Hovland out of Norway. He doesn't play on the LIV Tour. Yeah, I know. He's your guy. Sorry. I got him. This is my pick.
All right. I got to look now. I wrote
that's who you were going to pick, was it? You were going to take that guy.
I had Victor Hovland down. I had the Oklahoma State Cowboy for sure.
Why wouldn't you? And then Oklahoma State Cowboy won last weekend. I'm telling you right now, if you gave me the 10 best PGA players against the 10 best LIV players, PGA Tour would win 8 out of 10.
I'm going to go. It seems like somebody just – none of the big names ever win this tournament, it doesn't seem like.
Doesn't seem like.
So give me JT Poston.
Yeah, Tiger used to win this a bunch. He's won this tournament like 6 times.
Well, a good friend of the program, Matt Every, won it twice.
He sure did.
He sent me a bunch of his. He's got a golf line.
Yeah,
Live Forever Golf. Great shirts. Okay. He sent me some polos. They're outstanding.
Very good. Give me Sam Burns. Tees off at 10 a.m. 10 a.m. exactly. Sam Burns, an American. I'm going American, Norwegian, American. But you say Norwegian. He went to school in Oklahoma. So
yeah. So you got a Cowboy and an LSU Tiger.
I do.
I have so far I've picked a Catamount. JT Poston. I wonder if he's buddies with Kerwin Bell.
I'm sure Kerwin's reached out.
Kerwin doesn't know. He wouldn't know if JT Poston walked in his office. All right. Give me my man, Min-Woo Lee.
Yeah, you really like that guy. Where did he go to school, QB?
I don't think Min-Woo Lee. I'm embarrassed I don't know that because I'm usually pretty good at these guys. I think he came straight over from Australia.
So I have a Cowboy. I have a Tiger. I'm going to take a Longhorn now. Who do you think that's going to be, QB?
Justin Spieth.
No, not Justin Spieth.
Jordan Spieth.
There's a Jordan Spieth out there.
It's his brother, Justin.
I'm going to go with his teammate, or not teammate, but his
Scotty Scheffler.
Hell yeah.
Well, he's the best ball striker to ever play on the PGA Tour.
Scotty Scheffler, Hovland, and Burns. Somebody come get that at the LIV Tour. Give me 3 golfers on the LIV Tour to play that dude other than John Rahm. Let's hear it. Are you going to throw Harold Varner at me? You're gonna throw some of those guys at me? The LIV Tour is the best golfers in the world. That was a ridiculous statement. Really good.
Now I gotta look through this list again.
But you got the guys you always take, man. Where's your Korean player?
Yeah, I'll take Ju Young.
Where's that? QB, just stay with the same picks every week. It's easier.
No, I'll take Tom Kim. I was going to take Keegan Bradley from St. John's, but it seems like he plays good in these type of tournaments.
That guy Knapp is playing every week.
Recap, JC has Vic Hovland, Sam Burns, Scotty Scheffler.
I do.
I have JT Poston, Min-Woo Lee, and Tom Kim.
Yes.
If you're looking for Tom Kim on his name, I don't know if he goes by Tom or Ju Young, but Paul Tesori, former Gator golfer, is his caddy now.
So, yeah, he was you should have seen him running last week trying to beat the horn as they were about to blow it on Sunday.
I love that guy.
That dude, he putts the ball. He ran to it, put it again, picked up, and sprinted across the green into it's just funny to watch because you never see guys running on golf courses. I love the PGA Tour QB. I'm going to defend it. I don't like what Zinger said. I thought that was Bush League.
Well, there's some good players on LIV. Let's be honest, Rahm, DJ,
and Johnson,
but they're not having to compete. Nothing matters to them because they've already have their money up front, and then they're playing for extra money, whether you win or. It would be like, think about that.
Yeah,
think about having $500 million given to you up front, and now we're going to go play for $2 or $3 million. If I win, great. I'll go buy a new boat or a new house somewhere. Right. No big deal.
But meanwhile,
whereas the dudes on the tour,
you got Austin Eckroat,
busting their tails.
Jake Knapp and Austin Eckroat, who just won their first time ever on tour, playing great golf, doing great things, changing their lives, getting exemptions through 2026. Who doesn't love those stories? That to me is so much more interesting than watching Brooks Koepka just slob around. All these guys on the Live Tour care about, in my opinion, is warming up for the majors. That's it. Mm-hmm. It's that simple to me. They couldn't care less what their little team logo is and what their little team. How many times have you heard Brooks Koepka talk about his team or what team he's on? I don't even know what the hell they're talking about. But they warm up. They use that tour to get paid and warm up for the majors. That is it. If there was some way of saying at the Masters, if they said, if you don't play on the PGA Tour, you're not invited to the Masters, that would be a problem. It would be a big problem, but it's not going to ever happen.
Michael says on YouTube, Shane, you're not too good with remembering names, are you? I used to be, but I've been hit in the head quite a bit, Michael. So trust me, I don't remember stuff like I used to. Well, I used to have a photographic memory.
What was his name? George. You had George. Now I'm forgetting. You called somebody.
That's why Coach Spurrier never calls anybody by their name. All right, my man.
My man.
Well, he didn't even know his own players. All right, my man. He'd be like, "All right, Cornell, let's go get him." All right, Don.
Corndog.
All right, Shane. All right, my man.
All right.
He wouldn't know who they are. J&J Trucking, by the way, JC.
I'm loving J&J Trucking.
His name is Jesse Calderon, and he lives in Lexington, Kentucky.
Damn right, J&J.
He's not part of the Big Blue Nation then.
Well, I just love the fact that these folks are watching us. It just shows you the scope of the interest in the University of Florida sports throughout the country. And that's why I've always said Florida has the most resources. It has the biggest alumni base in the entire Southeast. Now, forget about the SEC. That goes for the entire Southeast. Throw Virginia in there. They got to win down here, dude. There's nothing more to say about it. They got the money if they want to have it. People will only support this program if they win, though. And that's where you got to get better. That's it.
Yep, for sure. All right.
Yeah. Who's that guy you called George somebody? Damn it. You call him. Anyway, I won't embarrass you. I'm just trying.
Well, it ain't embarrassing. I don't care. I mean, I've called different people different names. I used to be outstanding with that. But I'm telling you, this morning, JC, I went to the kitchen. I walked in there and I'm like, what did I walk in here to do? And it took me like 4 minutes to figure out, why did I walk in here?
Oh, that happens nowadays a lot more, doesn't it? Yeah, well, that's okay. Hey, man, look, you age gracefully out there. That's what you're hoping to do. That's what you're hoping to do. I know it's not as people aren't. Some folks aren't as lucky as others, but Justin Spieth will do fine at Bay Hill. I just think that he has won 3 majors, and it's really gone kind of south since then.
Did you just call him Justin?
No, you did. You called him.
I know Justin, I did,
but he's a Longhorn. So listen, I just think Bay Hill, TPC, and we're getting close to the Masters. Golf lovers rejoice. This is the time of year, man. Yep. This is it.
All right, we're going to get out of here. We're going to run a couple of clips from the Spurrier Awards banquet with Brandon Spikes and Coach Mark Richt that you'll really enjoy. So, all right, JC, we'll see you on Friday, my man.
Friday it is. See you guys.
That's JC. Join us on the Titan More Hotline. Take a quick time out. Come back. Y'all like these videos. You're watching and listening to PodUp with Matthews in the Morning. We want to take this moment to thank our sponsors who keep the show going and pay the bills. Our premium sponsors are Crime Prevention Security Systems, large enough to serve you, small enough to care. Titan MRI, Gainesville's only locally owned and operated MRI facility. Meldon Law, the only official injury and accident law attorneys of the Florida Gators. Peachland Dental, Gator Nation's first choice for dentistry in Port Charlotte. QC Kinetics, live pain-free with QC Kinetics. Campus USA, put some star power to work in your financial life with Campus USA Credit Union. Dave & Buster's, eat, drink, play, watch. Duffield Home Improvements for your window, siding, and roofing needs. Radware, your local provider of promotional products, uniforms, and apparel. Our gridiron sponsors are Auto ER, UF Bookstores, Silverback Concrete, Ruse Ogre State Farm Insurance, Radware, F45, Quality Plumbing. Our touchdown sponsors are Adams Ribs, Gator Dominoes, Celebrate Primary Care, Gator Bait Media, Okido America, Style Cuts, Ironwood Golf Course, Big Mills Cheesesteak, McDonald's of Gainesville, 84 Lumber, Dowling Signs, Baker's Sporting Goods, Silver Q Billiards and Sports Bar. If you're interested in promoting your business on the show, call Freddie at 352-284-3733. If you like what we're doing here, make sure to follow us and support the businesses that support us.
Hi there, this is Coach Steve Spurrier, and I want to let you know that by popular demand, Spurrier's Gridiron Grill's delicious brunch is now served in a premium buffet. You have spoken, we have listened, and we're now serving Gainesville's only elevated buffet, complete with an omelet station, ginger sage chicken sausage, shredded short rib, and of course our chicken and waffles. Plus, you can enjoy bottomless mimosas and Bloody Marys. So join us every Saturday and Sunday from 11 to 3 for the best brunch in town.
Okay, welcome back to PodUp with Matthews in the Morning. This is producer Zach Rothrock. We're going to be closing out the show with a couple of exclusive interviews that Shane did last week live from Spurrier's Gridiron Grill. First up is his interview with former Gator legend Brandon Spikes, and then we'll be closing things out with former coach of the Bulldogs, Mark Richt.
Joined by the national champ, Brandon Spikes. How you doing, my man?
I'm all right, man. Just another day in paradise.
Well, I know the Gator Nation is glad to have you back involved with the program. You've been here a couple of years. You're going back to school to get your degree. Tell us briefly about how important that is to you.
Well, it's been great, man. I just been, inspired lately. The kids keep me going, and I have my beautiful daughter to keep me motivated. Also, my mom, they're staying on top of me. So just a great support system, and everything's been going well. The first semester I was able to get straight A's, so don't ask me how that happened. But I think I'm just in a different mind frame, as an older man.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Let's talk about the landscape of college football now. You're involved, not really as an on-field coach, but you're really involved with the players. It's changed a lot since I played 30-something years ago. Obviously changed since you played. The loyalty factor, it's really not there. Mm-hmm. It really bothers me. How do you feel about that?
Likewise, Shane. I just, I got into the sport just because of that team camaraderie, just being a part of something, everybody with, like-minded with a common goal, working towards something that's special. And that's the beautiful part about our game, man. It'll never change. And I understand that, times are different and things change, but this game it's just been so beautiful and simple for so long. I'm honestly happy the kids are getting something out of their commitment, but at the same time, I'm more of a guy like, you get what you put in. You go out there and be productive. Sure, we can take care of you, but don't come out, just with your hand out and with that me mentality. That rubs me wrong. So.
Yeah, I'm with you. When you talked about. And for me, some of my closest friends are the guys I played college ball
Absolutely.
with. You play for your university. You played a long time in the NFL. I did too. There's all different people in the locker room. Mm-hmm. You still keep in touch with those guys, but you didn't live with those guys for 4 or 5 years. Some of your closest friends are still from those national championship teams, right?
Oh, absolutely. And those guys know they can call me no matter what it is, and I'll be right there for them. That bond that was created, I think that's, they'll never be unbroken. You know what I'm saying? You can't break that from, what you went through, all the blood, sweat, and tears. Then to see, the light on the other end of the tunnel, to see, it all paid off, all the hard work you put in, all the, the discipline, the dedication, it all just it paid off. So that's the magical thing about it. So I'm just there back at the university trying to communicate that to the kids and just let them know, don't forget why you started this.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's talk about looking at this year. Obviously, this is Coach Napier's 3rd year. First 2 years been kind of rough, tough schedule, but I try to tell people let's embrace it. Hell, we're going to play some good teams. Yeah. We can beat them. Defensively, we struggled the last couple of years. Yeah. I mean, being the color analyst, calling that game at LSU, what happened, they set records against us.
Right.
As a linebacker, just give me your thoughts, man, from a defensive standpoint.
I hate that you bring that back up because I'm still having nightmares. I just I couldn't forget, being on that sideline, watching that kid, just have his way with us up and down the sideline, and none of our guys, respond or, they just was kind of in shock also. But I'm like, hey, this is SEC football. Big-time players make big-time plays, so you got to be prepared. And, especially on the road, go into the game with the right mindset. It's a business trip. So, we had a young defense. I don't know if they quite understood what it takes to win on the road. So we with experience and time, it comes. It happens. I remember my sophomore year, we wasn't very good defensively. I was able to make a few plays, but there's a whole, we couldn't get nothing done. So hopefully the guys, take it, as a learning lesson, and they're ready to develop and grow during this offseason.
I've been around football a long time. I feel like you're the biggest middle linebacker I've ever seen. Am I wrong there?
You're probably right nowadays, especially.
Well, I ain't talking about now, but I'm talking about when
yeah, I was more.
Because you're what, 6 what?
I'm 6'4", 2. Like I put my weight back in the day was 6'4", 255. I'm probably about 30 pounds overweight.
Yeah, you don't see 6'4", 255 linebackers anymore.
Up in New England, I think there was a few guys that I played with that was about that size. Bill kind of like those bigger backers. You know what I'm saying? But now the big backers are like 240. We was 260, 6'4", guys like Pepper Johnson, me, Jonte Hightower, Jamie Collins, Gerard Mayo was, he was a medium size, but still big.
Right.
The game is, I see linebackers now, 205, 210, running around chasing little, slot wide receivers and stuff. So different day, man.
Did you enjoy playing for the fan base of the Buffalo Bills, the Mafia, or in New England?
Well, you're going to put me on the spot. Well, both of those fan bases are phenomenal. But, it was something different about Buffalo just because at the time, they just wasn't – I ain't going to say we was super bad. I think we won 9 or 10 games, the 2 seasons I was there both times. But, just the tradition of what they've been through. I lost the Super Bowl before, so I get it. I understand, man. For them to lose 4 in a row – I just wanted to go up there and try to help, change that and get them to the, the promised land. But, as far as the people, man, it's blue-collar, hard-working people. I respect that. They're not fair weather fans. They with you, through the weather, like we say down here, through the storm. So, it don't matter. I respect it. I love, loyalty, and it just made me want to come to work every day and give it my all just to see.
I agree with that because I played 2 years in Buffalo, and it's like a little college town.
It is. It's similar to Gainesville. Like, not just there, but,
You're exactly
Bills,
right.
So.
Well, he is a national champ, one of the greatest linebackers to ever play at the University of Florida. We appreciate his time, and we're glad he's on the Gator staff. That's Brandon Spikes.
Go Gators.
All right. Hope you enjoyed that exclusive interview with former Gator legend Brandon Spikes. Up next, we're going behind enemy lines with Coach Mark Richt, who was the recipient of the Steve Spurrier Coaching Legend Award for 2024. After that, we're going to wrap things up. Thank you for listening to PodUp with Matthews in the Morning.
Now joined by Coach Mark Richt, who longtime coach for Bobby Bowden, was the head coach for the Dogs, Miami Hurricanes. Coach, appreciate you joining us.
Good to be here, Shane.
Coach, I tell this story a lot of times when I speak to these different quarterback clubs around the country. You may not remember this, but when y'all recruited me out of high school, out of Pascagoula, Mississippi, y'all said y'all are going to sign one quarterback, either me or Charlie Ward. So I tell all those Seminoles that if y'all had signed me, they wouldn't know who Charlie Ward is today. But talk about Charlie. I see Charlie all the time.
Right.
If he was playing in today's game,
right,
he might be the best of all time. He still is one of the best.
Well, he was one of the best of all time in college for sure. And he was probably a little bit ahead of his time as far as his style of play. And even his stature. I mean, he was not even 6 foot, truth be told. He's probably 6'1" in the media guide, but he's probably a little under 6 foot, maybe 180 pounds, 184 pounds. And for NFL standards, for the quarterback at that time especially, they weren't really interested in that. And, his goal coming out of college was if the NFL would draft him in the first round, he was going to go to the NFL. And if he got drafted in any other round besides the first, he was going to keep his options open with the NBA. So when no one thought he should be a first-round pick, then he ended up not getting picked at all because they knew there was a good chance they'd lose a draft pick if they took him second or third round or whatever it was. Most people rated him around second through fourth round. but they knew they could lose that draft pick if he went NBA. So he got offered some as a free agent about third or fourth round money, but he decided basketball was going to be his deal.
Yeah, Coach, you did a tremendous job coaching the Georgia Bulldogs, but you coached a long time, like I said, as an assistant under Bobby Bowden.
Right.
What did you learn from Coach Bowden?
Well, Coach Bowden, a lot of people talk about faith, family, and football in that order, and not many people live it out like that, but Coach Bowden really did.
Right.
He was about his faith first and his family next, and our families too as coaches. He was very protective of our children and our relationships with our wives and our kids. And I'll never forget one of the early meetings as a coach there. He asked the staff, when are you going to see your kids? And then he said, it's not going to be like just Thursday after practice once a week in season. Every single day I want you to see your kids. Either we'll come in a little bit later where you can take your kids to school, or we'll come at the crack of dawn, and after practice you can go home, put them to bed. And so we, as a staff, decided to start our meetings around 8:30, which allowed me and the rest of the staff members to get up with the kids, have breakfast, do spelling words, whatever, get in the car, take them to school, and then go into the office. I'll just say this. I played under Howard Schnellenberger at Florida, at University of Miami, and he was a great coach without any doubt. But his style was more Bear Bryant, iron fist guy.
Right.
And then when I left there and went to Florida State and saw Coach Bowden be totally different, I'm thinking there's no way we'll have any success here. Excuse me. But as it turned out, both styles could be effective if you kind of be who you are, and they're both real genuine in who they were, and they both were competitors, and I just was blessed to be under both those guys.
Yeah, speaking of competitors, another guy you competed against was the head ball coach, and you have you're getting the Steve Spurrier, I think it's the Coach's Legend Award. Talk about some of the battles you had with Coach Spurrier.
Well, you got to go back to when I was at Florida State as an assistant, because those were the years where Florida State, Florida, and Miami were like the three best teams in America. And, of course, at Florida State, we had to play both Miami and Florida. But usually whoever won those games played for the national championship. And so they were really unbelievable battles. I'll never forget, just watching tape. I'd spent a lot of time watching tape of Florida's offense in the offseason. I'm not going to pull any punches. I learned a lot just watching film and seeing how y'all did it, at Florida. Just the route concepts, how he would teach the quarterbacks, the anticipation on your throws. And, you guys weren't holding the ball very long. You were going to put it to a spot. And when the ball got there, the receiver was there, So I learned a lot from Coach Spurrier just watching tape.
I want to get your thoughts of college football today. The landscape has changed. It's a mess right now. If you were still coaching, would you still want to be coaching college football, or would you try to get to the NFL?
Well, it's interesting. About 4 at least head coaches at the collegiate level said, I'll be a coordinator.
Right.
I'm taking the coordinator job. You can have the head coach.
Yeah.
And because it is just it was already stupid as far as hours and responsibility and pressure and all that. Now, when you had the fact that the portal's open and the NIL, what you have is unrestricted free agency with no salary cap, and so you're recruiting high school kids, junior college kids, kids from the portal, your own kids. I'm not going to mention names, but a guy I know really well in the business, on a very successful team. The first day the portal opened, he had 25 guys come to his office looking for a better NIL deal, or they're going to maybe go somewhere else, and it's just crazy how things are happening. And I'm not mad at the players for getting their share because that's the way America works, but it's just so much more difficult to manage. Let's just say, to me, part of my job was to help these guys go from boyhood to manhood. So in the process of going from boyhood to manhood, you usually have to have some kind of direction, some type of discipline along the way. Now, if you discipline a kid, he's bolting, he's out, things get tough, he's bolting, he's gone. Guys aren't really persevering like they used to. I worry about that for them, but I understand, I get it.
Yeah, for sure. Coach, you still working for the ACC network?
I'm still with the ACC network, 5th year doing that. I kind of like it because, it keeps me in the game, number one, but number two, because I live in Athens. If I was SEC network, it'd be tougher to say anything bad about the Dogs if you saw something.
Well, it's hard to say anything bad about them.
That's true. Lately, it'd be hard anyway. But not that I would have much to say. But it's just like David Pollock when he's on game day. If he says anything in the 10-year career that wasn't positive about Georgia, he'd catch it. But anyway.
Well, Coach, congratulations on the award.
Thank you.
It's good seeing you again. This guy did it a long time, first-class manner. Congratulations on your career.
Appreciate it, Shane.